everyone, welcome back for another memory keeping video. This time it's for the week of April 27th through May 3rd. And we're doing a little bit of like a Franken plan this week. So I've got some washi from Paper Source. I've got some full boxes and characters from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. from, I believe this was last year when she was doing like the monthly flower. So I have the boxes from April, which was Daisy, and May, which is Lily of the Valley. And then I have leftovers from an Apple Blossom Prints kit. Both of those shops, Itty Bitty Sticker Co. and Apple Blossom Prints, are not open right now, so sorry about that. Then I also have leftovers from Spring Cottage from Caress Press, which I believe you can still buy this kit. I used all of the full boxes from it, but I still had a lot of like really nice functional stickers left over, so I thought all the colors worked well enough together. I feel like I did this time last year as well for this exact week, the transitional week from April into May. I feel like by that time, like I love spring, but like I'm always like one kit short for spring, and I'm just like, I don't really know what to use. So yeah, the Franken plan was born from here. So I put the April boxes, the April flower boxes on the April side of the week and the May flower boxes on the May side of the week, and then filled in with the other boxes. This was left over from, I believe this was Kittenish Jess art. These Apple Blossom Prints boxes, they were from an Easter kit from a year or two ago. And even though this obviously isn't Easter week, I would still consider this like the Easter season, like the 6 or 7 weeks after Easter. So I don't mind having Easter decorations in my planner because usually my Easter decorations are still up at this point. I just took them down this past week because it was Pentecost, which is I think 50 days after Easter. I'm guessing based on the Penta part of that title. I don't know. But yeah, that's like the official close of the Easter season. I love observing like holiday seasons rather than like just a holiday. But that might just be the cultural Catholic in me. Anyway, I actually liked how this turned out. One thing that wasn't really in any of the full boxes that I did pull in a lot of was this like lilac color from the Caress Press kit. So it kind of pops out, but that's kind of nice. Other than that, like all of the colors were somewhat represented in the full boxes. And obviously I didn't have like all the glitter headers from the same kit. Like I had like 3 from one kit and 4 from another, but most of the colors matched up anyway. You can see me laying out here like which ones I'm going to put in which order, and it worked out surprisingly well. I feel like when I do this type of Franken planning in April and May, it works out surprisingly well. I don't know if it's like the color scheme. I don't know if it's like everything's very floral and feminine, so that all just kind of tends to work together. I don't know. It ended up working out pretty well. So this week was kind of just another heavy work week approaching the end of the semester. I think my husband was still recovering from his cold. No, he would have been over that at this point. But for some reason, he worked from home on Monday, and I can't remember why. Maybe he just could and wanted to, which good for him. We did have to prep some water storage on Monday and Tuesday because they shut off the water main. They were working on it in our neighborhood, and I don't know what else they're doing, but it is now like a month later and they still keep coming back and doing stuff. And there's a bunch of gravel and things like that. I don't know if they're repaving. It's taken a long time. I feel like this week they worked on it every day and then a few days the next week. And then they like were gone for several weeks. And then now they're back occasionally jackhammering up the street at 7 in the morning. And then leaving for the rest of the day. So I don't know what's going on with that, but that started this week. So yeah, we couldn't use our water on Tuesday until like 3 or 4 o'clock because they needed to work on the pipeline. I was making more friendship bracelets for the concert we went to the week after this, and then just lots of teaching, lesson planning, grading, still watching Great Pottery Throwdown on Roku. Oh, and Casey Musgrave's Middle of Nowhere came out this week. How could I forget? Oh my God. So, yeah, I was really looking forward to that album. I got 2 new albums in a row in the course of this month. So, the week before I got Noah Kahan's album, this week was Casey Musgrave's album. It's a pretty short album, it's like 45 minutes max, but I'm enjoying this return to country music for her. And we listened to it on Thursday night because since we're on the West Coast, since we're in California, anything that debuts at midnight is available to us at 9 p.m. So that was fun. We listened to it together. I think before the album came out, based on the singles that were out and based on the Coachella set list, I think before the album fully came out, Uncertain Texas was like my favorite. It just wasn't available anywhere other than the Coachella video until May 1st. But yeah, that was my favorite before I heard the whole album. And then on first listen to the whole album, like all the tracks, I think Coyote is my favorite, which features, what's his name? Gregory Allen, what's his last name? The folksy guy. I don't know. I can't remember his last name. I want to say Asimov, but that is not correct. That's the sci-fi guy. That's the artificial intelligence guy who warned us long ago about the dangers. I cannot remember his name. Isakov? I don't know. If you know, let me know down below. But yeah, I think Coyote's my favorite track from the album overall, although Loneliest Girl keeps getting stuck in my head because she's a bop. She's such a bop. And even though like it's this anthem about like being comfortable, like being alone, being single, all that stuff, I'm like, this is my song. Maybe it's because even though I'm married, I am a super introvert and I can actually go multiple days without talking to people and be just fine. I'm weird like that. Anyway, I talk to my cats, so that probably helps. They don't talk back. Well, I don't know. Evie kind of talks back. But yeah, really loved Middle of Nowhere. It's short and sweet. Although I'm realizing like Olivia Rodrigo albums are each like 45 minutes long too. Sorry, somebody's car alarm just went off. That was distracting. But yeah, I've listened to the Casey Musgraves album many, many times. And then I think it was the week after this that we got tickets to go see her in the fall, which is exciting. I've managed to recruit a few other people besides my husband to go because over the last 13 years that I've listened to Casey Musgraves, it used to feel like I was the only person in my life who listened to her. And then slowly but surely, other people have come around. And I'm like, cool, now we can go to shows together. So that's fun. Anyway, getting into the day by day. Monday, my husband worked from home, and I confirmed that I have a student assistant to work in one of my classes in the fall, which is exciting. And then I did my workout and did laundry. Everything at the top of Monday is either from Sweet of His Paper, Itty Bitty Sticker Co., or Wonton in a Million, and you can't buy it anymore, and I am so sorry. Listened to some podcasts and filmed a plan with me, and then prepped water bottles and the water filter and everything for having the water shut off the next day. And then watched a bunch of 10-Minute Power Hour last week tonight and The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, all on YouTube. And everything at the bottom of Monday is also from Sweet of His Paper or Wonton in a Million. And you, say it with me, can no longer buy it. I apologize. There are so many stickers out there, though. I'm sure you can find something. I managed to cope. Anyway, Tuesday I taught and graded, and because I had a lot of half boxes from the Caress Press stickers, I just decided to mark both teaching and grading in that box just with 2 different icons from Wonton in a Million. I marked the water being shut off for the water main repair. I don't know if it was repair. It must have been repairs. Yeah, or like upgrades, I'm imagining. We live in an old, I don't know how old this neighborhood is, but I think it was one of the more original neighborhoods of Sacramento. So Sacramento was founded around the gold rush time, so like the 1830s, 1840s. History with Jessica. So yeah, a lot of the infrastructure probably doesn't date back to like then, but like our roads are really weird in like the older parts of town because like they were originally designed for like carriages and stuff. So there's a lot of intersections that are kind of weird for driving a car. But anyway, I'm sure the water mains have been upgraded since back then, but like everything's kind of old is my point. So I marked that with a Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. the water being shut off. Because the water was shut off, I didn't go home right after finishing work. I ended up going to Michael's because I needed some more cord to make some more friendship bracelets. So I kind of putzed around Michael's for a while. I haven't done that in a long time. I used to go to Michael's for my lunch break, basically, when I worked at a newspaper, because I had a full like hour lunch break scheduled into my day. So I'm like, I'm going to take it because I'm not getting paid for that time. And nowadays I try not to just like spend my time wandering the aisles of a big box store to kill time. But if I really, really need to kill time, I will go up and down every single aisle of Michael's and just see what they have. So anyway, ended up buying the cord for my friendship bracelets, and then came home, voiced over a plan with me, ran around with the cats, and then made some more friendship bracelets. I think I'm wearing one of the ones that I made. I'm pretty sure, I don't think my sister watches here, but I do want to give her that one because I know she loves Parachute by Haley Williams. So that will be for her. And then I used the Lily of the Valley and the Daisy stickers from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. to mark things that I just didn't have a sticker for this week. So at the bottom of Tuesday, what I marked is watching more Stephen Colbert. Wednesday, I was not feeling well. I drank enough water the day before, but like our temperatures were going like up and down all over the place at this time. So yeah, I think I stayed hydrated, but I had a headache and I was just really tired. I did manage to do some yoga, but I ended up making some Pedialyte and taking Advil because the headache just would not go away. So luckily I didn't really have any work I needed to do other than like responding to emails and stuff this day. Like I was caught up for the most part on grading, I think. And if I wasn't, it's like I was trying to only grade on days where I had classes and office hours anyway. So yeah, I didn't really have any work to do other than emails. So luckily that worked out. That pill bottle is from Bunny Bear Plans. I believe you still can buy that if you're interested because Siobhan's shop is definitely still open. I did take out the recycling. We had a bunch of it piled up, and then loaded and unloaded the dishwasher. So I just tried to like get things in order since I wasn't feeling great, but I was feeling like I could still do those things. Did the budget and then watched Great Pottery Throwdown on Roku. Thursday, I marked that it was 4 months till a concert that we're going to, so I have this emo corgi sticker from Corks and Corgs Co. for that. You can still get that one as well. I believe Laurel's shop is open right now. I haven't placed an order in a couple months, but I think it's open. You can double check. I link below commonly used shops in my Plan With Me's I was going to say the show notes. That's not what it's called. The video description. So you could find it there if you want to. I also marked that our neighbors left for Europe this day. Good for them. They were gone for like almost a month. And no, I wasn't jealous at all. But I wanted to mark that just to be aware of like when their place was going to be empty, as well as they ended up having a family member come and stay to watch their dog and stuff. But I just like to be aware of those things. And then I went and taught and lesson planned and graded for my classes. I had a meeting I needed to attend to go over a performance review, basically. And then I ended up having therapy on this day. Oh, that was the other thing. That was the weird thing about Monday, was that my husband decided last minute to work from home, which is fine. And then my therapist was like, I need to reschedule for Thursday. Is that okay? I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So that kind of left me with like nothing to do on Monday when I had like a ton of stuff that I was going to do on Monday, if that makes sense. So yeah, that was why this week was a little weird. And then to mark Great Pottery Throwdown on this day, I had this little, I think this is supposed to be a wax melt cup from like Scribble Prints Co. I don't use wax melts. I'm going to be honest, don't come for me, but I don't see the point. So I thought this looked like clay or like a box of clay or something. So I used it for Pottery Throwdown. And then to mark listening to Middle of Nowhere for the first time, I used a record player, Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. because I didn't pre-order the vinyl or anything because on my spoiler for my birthday, my husband pre-ordered the signed copy of it for me. I had no idea he had done that though. I generally don't pre-order vinyl or albums in general because like I want to know for sure that I like it, but luckily we ended up liking the album because he had already purchased it. I just didn't know that at this time. But yeah, our record player doesn't just play vinyl, it plays CDs, cassettes, although we don't have any cassettes. I think I talked about that in the last video. But you can also connect it to your Bluetooth on your phone. So that's how we listened to it, was through technically our record player, but it was coming from my husband's phone. So yeah, I really loved the album. I was super pumped for the Billy Strings collab song, Everybody Wants to Be a Cowboy, and we were a little underwhelmed by it just because like Billy Strings vocals don't feature on it really. Like it's very, very faint in the background. Like I think most of his contribution was probably his guitar work, which he's very well known for, and he's a very skilled guitarist. That song has grown on me a lot because it does remind me of like, I'm going to be real, a lot of California Republicans who like think they want to be ranchers, but like can't even change a tire, quite frankly. So I don't know why they're thinking they're going to like own a farm and like live out in the middle of nowhere when they can't even do basic life stuff. Like they want the ballerina farm dream, but like they have no idea how to do anything. So I don't know. That's what I think of now when I think of that song. So it's grown on me. It's just at first we were just so pumped for Billy Strings because we are Billy Strings fans. And then it was like, oh, I didn't actually hear from him. But that would be my only critique of the album. I do feel like any collabs she did, like you couldn't really hear the collaborators that much. But good album overall. Friday, my husband worked from home again. I taught and graded, and then we had our showcase for the semester-long project I was doing, which was fun. And then I posted about it on my Instagram, and a couple of my friends from college and grad school who don't know each other, but like know me and like we majored in the same thing, and they also work in various forms of education. We're like, oh, can you like send me what you presented on? That sounds really cool. So it was fun to share my work. I have to remember I have a network outside of just where I immediately work sometimes. And plus, like, we're friends and stuff. So that was fun to share that with them. And then we went to the brewery for dinner, and there was a Green Day cover band there, which was fun. So I used another emo corgi for that. And then I watched a bunch of Last Week Tonight. Saturday, I wanted to mark that my sister was taking the MCAT. So I used a little doctor sticker for that. I went over to my parents to clean out my old closet because my dad was on a spring cleaning kick, and I did not realize I still had stuff in that closet. It was like buried under my sister's stuff, so I had to pull all of that stuff out just to even like get into the closet, and then finally found stuff. It was easier to sort through than I thought it was going to be originally, so I ended up throwing out a bunch of stuff, but I took home things like I found letters between me and one of my childhood friends who I still talk to, so that's funny. Some pictures that I wanted that are like duplicates of photos that my parents have, and all that type of stuff. This took a long time though. We were there like all day, and I came home and took the most glorious shower, and then we ended up watching The Devil Wears Prada this night. So I have it on DVD. I don't think I'm gonna watch the sequel until it like comes to streaming and it's a lot cheaper. But I think my husband hadn't watched it before, and he thought it was a pretty good movie. I still like it a lot. And then I watched more Last Week Tonight after we were done with that. Sunday I was super sore, so I used this emo corky from Corks and Corgs Co. because I was like climbing up on things and going through stuff and squatting and everything while I cleaned out the closet. So I was very sore this day. I did manage to play with the cats, listen to some podcasts, and film a plan with me. And then I did a bunch of stretching to soothe my sore muscles. And then this was the weekend that Olivia Rodrigo hosted and played on SNL. So she like premiered one of her new songs from her upcoming album, and she was an excellent host. So I used another corky to mark that, and then watched a bunch more Last Week Tonight. So that's this week. I hope you are having a good one. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.